Hey, disc golfers. This video is about why I think, and this is just a theory, um, I do have a lot of people inside the disc golf world that they have information. I released some videos on the channel. I knew 12, 13 days ago where Eagle was going. Uh, uh, you know, I knew he was going to MVP. Released a video for like 2-3 minutes and then took it down because it was a little bit too on the nose, and I heard from people inside the game and didn't want to have anybody get in trouble, which I don't think that's the right word, but yeah, I'm not gonna mess with somebody's marketing scheme that I think is fun and they're having fun with playing with people's curiosity. But I believe that the Halo Destroyer, the Halo plastic, not necessarily just the Destroyer, but the Halo plastic, was a happy accident. And I'm going to get into that and, you know, have at it in the comments. But I've been to multiple factories. I've seen discs ran, and I do have some information. If you want to call it insider information, you can. But yeah, it's something I feel is pretty close to accurate, but it's a theory. So I tried getting off the Destroyer, and I'll use this disc as an example because it may be easier to see on film. But during 2020, plastic was hard to come by, and there were certain demands for employees in that time span. Going into, it was interesting for me because I was in New York City. I was coaching tennis in New York City, and during that time, it was really interesting because it was like a horror film. Just watching people flee that area, and I loaded up myself and the girl I'd been dating for like 4 or 5 years, 5 years and some change at that time, and moved her down to a ranch property in Texas, so that we could be alone and safe because we didn't know what was going on. I'm not going to get into what I think about COVID or anything like that, because I think at this point it's like, don't empower something by speaking about it. I'd rather talk about disc golf. So, yeah, I tried getting off of the Destroyer, and this is a Wraith, but the Destroyer, and I do have a number of Destroyers that have this same exact issue. There's this bubbling that started happening along the rim of the discs, and it may be easier to see on camera because of the color of this disc, but this lighter coloration along the rim side of the disc on the outer edges of the disc. What was happening is probably because they were having to source cheaper plastics, or, and this is an or, because again, this is a theory, but I do believe it's founded in quite a bit of fact, and I won't name any names other than myself, which this is my theory. I'm not like, nobody from Innova told me, hey, like, this is what Dave said, whatever, right? So I believe this bubbling along the rims of some discs caused a subpar product, and that subpar product to me was in the Destroyer. I enjoy the Destroyer. I think it's one of the best distance drivers that I've ever come across. There are many, many products. Um, but in terms of what I've tried as a distance driver, I believe that the Halo Destroyer is near perfect and near the best that's been made so far. But I stopped using destroyers because, and this is a destroyer that has the same exact thing with the edge bubbling up, because the quality of the disc was so compromised that a premium line disc, and now I don't really buy discs anymore. I have a bunch of buddies that play for various teams, and when they stay with me at my place for like whatever, the Texas Swing, or if they you know if we're together on the road playing tournaments, we give each other discs straight up because they're pieces of plastic, and their access is easier to professional or touring players than money is, because discs are cheaper to manufacturers than money. So they can leverage something that they have the potential to produce at a very, very low cost, relatively, that you cannot purchase at a low cost. So they're leveraging their ability to give you a product that you cannot buy at the same level, at the same price that they can make it. So it's why it's so interesting, the sponsorship deal. I do have companies sending me Frisbees now. I have had companies in the past send me discs as a player. I started playing disc golf when I was very much in my prime as a college athlete. I was on scholarship and I played a couple sports in college. I had my first deal was a handshake deal, uh, because I won a few tournaments in a row. Not a big deal, but I was only like 3-4 months into learning the game and won some advanced tournaments, which is amateur disc golf. It's not a big deal. But then yeah, I shot like a 1040 round and was leading an A tier. Playing in advanced like 4 or 5 months into the game. Beat Barry Schultz, Kelly Visca, a bunch of good players at that time. So this is like 06, 07. I don't know when I started. It's on the PDGA. Look it up. I don't really care. I played tennis. I took a year off. Tried to play professionally. Failed. And then signed a scholarship to play tennis for college. That'd have been in 06, 07. I don't know. Whatever, doesn't matter. It was a while back. So I shook hands with Dave McCormick at Gateway because of the early successes I had. I went up to Bowling Green. There was like 760 players. Got to play with Widgie, David Wiggins when he was 11 or 12. His dad followed him around, coached him. It was really special. It was so cool. Dads, if you have a disc golf son, daughter, go out and play with your kids, man. Take them to tournaments. I've seen some special stuff. It's cool to see. It's really neat. So yeah, shook hands with Dave McCormick, the owner of Gateway, when I went up to play Bowling Green, because I was leading Bowling Green and whatever. There's a bunch of people there, and I was fresh to the game, so like super raw, but decent athlete. And then got back, talked to Jay Redding, Yeti. He was like, "Yo, I want to offer you a farm team deal. Me and Avery are picking young kids that are like good, that we're going to coach. So will you throw for Innova? I didn't sign any paperwork with Gateway, but I shook hands. And so I honored my word and moved up to St. Louis. And yeah, I got my first look into discs and manufacturing of discs. And now I've been to more factories since then. But I do have a little bit of insider knowledge on how discs are made. And I won't get super duper nerdy because this will be too long of a video. In order to keep this in a consumable, in order to allow you to not get bogged down in very, very boring details of aerodynamics and high-speed discs, and how it doesn't really matter if you put out crappy putters, but if you're putting out a high-speed driver and it's thrown anywhere near what the human potential can throw an object at. So if you're in the high 60s, low 70s and above, small things in discs tend to lead to really high inconsistencies. And, you know, control the things that you can control. If you can control your fitness, be as fit as you can be. If you can control the products that you use, and nobody's paying me to throw frisbees, so I'm going to try and get the best frisbees I can get a hold of. This disc is from a team member at Innova. The rest of the discs that I'm going to show you are from team members at Innova, team members at Lone Star, team members at Latitude. I don't buy discs because I have access to a human network that has put in their time, which is very expensive, and they have traded their time and effort for free discs. I had a kiddo that signed a racket contract, and he was like, dude, like, this is so cool, Coach Matt, like, check it out, like, Babolat is sending me rackets for free now. And I saw a coaching moment, and I sat him down, and I said, hey man, do you realize how much time you put in for those free rackets? So yeah, free stuff costs a lot. If you earn the opportunity to get free stuff, it's not free. But yeah, so I'll get frisbees from homies that are in the game and that have put in work. Matty O's finally getting paid, but that guy has played, you know, probably since before he was in the double digits, man. He was probably 9, 10. His dad had Sky South. I'm from Alabama, but I've lived elsewhere for most of my life. But I know Matt. I've lived together with some Alabama boys, and we all traveled together. Matt, Cameron Cole Glazer, Barsby, and I traveled together for a long time. I traveled with Garrett Gerthy and Jeremy Coling and Will Schustrick and Paige Pierce and Cameron, because Cameron was on Prodigy, and I knew Cameron before he was on Prodigy, and he and I were already traveling together. So I got to see Prodigy in the beginning phases when they were making super quality discs because they were entering the market, and now I get to see Prodigy now. But so without digressing a hardcore amount, the Halo Destroyer, which I'll get you my favorite Halo guy right now. This is the shape and run that I'm really digging. I also have, I got like, I don't know. Thanks AJ Carey. AJ signed with Lone Star, and I got like 15 Halo Destroyers from him. They fly good. Thanks, buddy. These two runs of the Halo Destroyer, I'm colorblind, so I think this is purple or blue. And then this is, I don't know what this is. This is probably green or gray. I don't know. Doesn't matter. This doesn't matter to me. Make fun of me in the comments if you want to. You know, I can't see color, so whatever. So this this run is great. This run is super money almost more immediately because it is slightly less overstable. I actually prefer the more overstable run. I think the Halo Destroyers are the best run of disc that has been made ever. And that's just my opinion. But for my arm speed and for people that are touring pros and can throw in the high 60s, low 70s and above, the Halo Destroyers are really, really, really good. They're durable. And I believe, this is just my theory, they are a reaction to a subpar product. That this disc was from a team member again, and it had this bubbling effect. This disc has been thrown for real less than double digits, and I'm not going out practicing hitting trees. I don't beat my kids, if that makes sense. Like, my frisbees are supposed to be in my bag for a very long time because I get to know them. And then it really, really hurts if I lose one. But it's so disappointing if I lose the flight of a disc if it hits one tree. Like, this looks like I took it out and blasted it into the concrete a bunch of times. I didn't. And I'm not the best disc golfer on the planet, but I have shot multiple rounds in the 1030s, 1040s. I have multiple course records where there's money on the line in like one-day tournaments, a ton of non-sanctioned stuff. I've shot some 18 downs in doubles with people that are better than me, but I've contributed. I'm not great, but I'm not bad. So I threw this disc double-digit times maybe, and it's trash now, which sucks because this was a really good flyer. So I stopped throwing the Destroyer for a long time because my dollars, my decisions, and now granted, I'm in the unique position where I have a ton of frisbees. I had the first sponsorship, offers that I had on the table. Manufacturers were sending me like 30 discs a week. But so I got a lot of discs to pick from. I'm not gonna throw a subpar product that sucks. The flight is good, but it doesn't retain that flight for an extended period of time. Now, I have old Destroyers that I have bagged and do currently bag. This bad boy is so good that it comes in and out of my bag because I don't want it to get any more seasoned, and then I'll cry some alligator tears if I lose it. I am a disc nerd. If that's not apparent to you strangers, just ask some people that have played disc golf with me. I can not look at a disc and hold it in my hand and tell you what it is. For real. I'm into disc golf. But so I love the Destroyer, and it's my favorite distance driver currently that I've tested. But Innova was putting out a bad product. And our dollars in disc golf, I'm not going to get into politics because politics are a cesspool that I loathe hearing or having come into my life. Politics are disgusting. Um, and the biggest win that politics has had the past few years, now we're in 2024, is that people are paying attention to garbage, man. Yeah, go out and vote and stuff and be an American. But yeah, I'm not going to get into politics. But your dollars in disc golf and in the world influence what happens more than maybe your votes do. Maybe. I'm not going to get on a soapbox. But I think this is a good product. I think this was a good product in an older destroyer. I think that this is dog shit, and you shouldn't buy a subpar product if it's being marketed as a premium flagship. This is the best we have to offer you, disc golf world product. This is the same quality as a baseline disc in terms of how long it retains its flight. Now, if you like a disc that gets beat up really, really quick, maybe you would love this. I don't, because I want a disc that's going to retain its integrity at high speeds for as long as possible, because I have seasoned discs. I have a lot of discs that I know really, really well. Like, I have destroyers a lot. And if I want something flippier than a destroyer, I'll pick up a disc that does that job when it's new at my arm speed, because I really don't want to lose a destroyer like this, because I only currently have 5 or 6 of them that I know well. And that may sound like a lot, but if you're out there blasting clips, if you're blasting shots over the water because you're going to make it a 450-foot carry no problem, and then you're off by a little bit or the wind picks up, later gator, and I'll go in after the water, like into the water, to find my kids, to find my frisbees I love. But stuff happens. So yeah, quick rant on quality control, quick rant on Innova being, I have had and have CE discs that I love, that I've blasted in half. I think Innova has made a great product, and I'm sure they continue to make a great product. I have seen some Halo destroyers. I don't buy Innova stuff, but I've come across some newer Halo destroyers. I don't know. I grabbed a bunch of frisbees. But yeah, and I think the Halo destroyer was such a good disc. I'll cover my number, but this is from Matt Oram, and he gave me this disc because he was like, "Bro, you got to try these rives. They're good. They're great. They're flippier than Halo destroyers out the box, but maybe they'll make it in the bag eventually. But I just know destroyers that I don't have to mess with something that is trying to be a destroyer, and isn't doing, could arguably be said that it isn't doing as good of a job as a destroyer into headwinds, or at a higher arm speed. But yeah, to close the video out, and sorry if I wasted your time, but our dollars influence where this game goes. We are a small world of individuals in the disc golf world. If you don't like the direction a product or company is going, yeah, rant and rave online. Sure. I'm not super emotional about this because I don't really care, man. It's a piece of plastic, uh, and it doesn't really affect my life if it throws like garbage, but it affects my time. And if I put time into a product that changes very, very quickly, I'm not gonna keep that product in my life because that's a waste of my time, which to me is more valuable than money because there are no solutions in life. There are only compromises. Um, for real. Uh, so, yeah, your dollars influence where these companies go. Spend money on good products, see our companies elevate to a very, very high level. Or, you know, allow $25 discs to be what you think is worth $25 uh, and buy them. The Halo Destroyer is getting worse. Uh, and Innova tends to do this. They tend to release a product and put a lot of time and effort and a ton of consideration on the quality control. And then they back that off because it's cheaper and easier. Yeah, hope it helps. Hope it pisses some people off because I don't know everything about anything. I don't know much about everything, but I do know that your dollars influence the future of the game of disc golf and our little world of disc golf. Yeah. Maybe don't buy discs that are made in China either. Hot take. Have a good one, guys. Get out there, get practicing. Love the game, man. It's so cool. But yeah, we get to vote in disc golf where it goes.